グリザイアの迷宮
Grisaia no Meikyu! Bonjour watcher, this is Jermaine of 45. Welcome back to the Labyrinth of Grisaia. Yes, we are now on a date with Yumiko. This time hopefully they are alone. No more classmates, please. Yeah, no more classmates.
続きからよ
Yes. Petit Bourrions. What is that meaning? Let's head to the next shot, shall we?
うん
Once we get outside the hot spring bun area, we find ourselves among noticeably older groups of tourism. Many of the things being sold here and picked vegetable, boiled fish and similarly salted souvenirs.
ぐっと色合いが地味になったわね
Well, sure, hot spring usually draw a pretty elder crowd, you know?
そうねあこのお漬物美味しそう
Moments after calling the food plane, Yumiko's already reaching out for a free sample.
うんちょうどいい浸かり具合ねユージも食べてみる
Sure, why not? Picking up small mouse hair with the provided chopsticks, I drop it onto my palm before tossing it into my mouth. The lingering fragrance of shisho leaves adds a nice accent to the refreshing flavor of the salted pickled vegetables.
ねいいでしょ
Yeah, definitely. It would go great with a meal.
あまねならもっとジャッジが厳しそうだけどあの子は本場の生まれだし
As someone is named leaves her mouth, Yumiko chuckles softly. Come to think of it, she wasn't nearly this comfortable taking sample of food until she started going to the supermarket with Amane on a regular basis. Yeah, if I remember, she probably say her homemade starts better and get herself into a gladiator contest with the store owner.
そうねでもあの子の方が最終的に勝ってしまいそう
As the words leave Yumiko's mouth, there's a remarkably gentle smile on her face. A few minutes later, we find ourselves in front of an establishment that certainly stands out.
ブッキーよ
That's what the sign says, at least. The sign in question is shaped like a giant shuriken and the name of the shop is written on its large, full brush strokes. Inside we find piles of sword and chains circled on the shelf and heaps of shields lying on the floor. Behind the counter where you usually expect to see a few dishes, they hung suits of chainmail. Blade mail! I guess shops of this sort are roughly comparable to those where the geek shops where tourism sometimes buy wooden swords for some inexplicable reason. But the range and realism of the weaponry on display in here definitely plays in a league of its own. My assumption was that Yumiko will find an exclusive shop like this completely uninteresting, but
ユージこれ見て本物の毒針よ
calm yourself, Yumiko. They would have shut this place down a long time ago if that thing was real.
これは黄金の爪エンカウント率が上がりそうね
Well, that's a surprise. Contrary to my expectations, she bursting with enthusiasm from the moment we walked in the door. Then again, I guess she does spend a decent amount of time in the dorm playing games and browsing the internet. And she reads plenty of novels too. It isn't that surprising she do see the appeal of this stuff. And besides,
ユージ今何か変なこと考えたでしょ
no, of course not.
本当に
Yeah, look at this, Yumiko. They got some Western fantasy style helmets lying around over here.
どこどこ
Fortunately, I managed to direct Yumiko's attention elsewhere. Suggesting a connection between her fondness for box colors and her interest in the shop definitely would have been wise.
ああこの兜なんかは小峰さんあたりが喜びそうね
Oh!
これこっちのモーニングスターとかまさにイリスさんって感じがしない
Well, sure. Nothing happily around the shop, Yumiko picks out various pieces of battle gear and assigns them to the dorm residents. Bigger is much. She might want to be alone with me, but in the end, she can't quite stop thinking about her friends in Miyama. Normally, that kind of dependence might be seen as a negative thing, but in Yumiko's case, I think it's a sign of some real progress. Just wish she was aware of it herself. She would be able to interact with them more naturally if she was. It doesn't feel like we'll be strolling around the store for that long, but the morning's already flown past. I'm halfway through suggesting that we take a break for lunch when Yumiko raises her hand to interrupt me. She proceeds to look carefully around the area for something or other. What are you looking at?
ちょっとねあここならいいわ行きましょう
We turn ahead into the direction Yumiko indicates. The path leads us to a small park with a warm footpath that open to the public. Oh! I see, so this is what you were after. Oh, oh, best girl. Practically, the moment Yumiko places her feet in the water, she is opening out the picnic basket she brought with us and retrieving our lunch from within. Conveniently, there's a table in front of us for food and drinks. With the warm water below us, it almost feels like I'm sitting at a traditional kotatsu.
ええ、準備だけはちゃんとしていたから。ほら、ユージ、早く口を開けて。
I think we're going to draw some attention, but Yumiko definitely won't be pleased if I leave her hanging. I hold my mouth open and allow her to gently place a piece of fried cake inside. What are you looking at, Rhonda? What are you looking at, Rhonda? Oh, you want to go out? No, you cannot go out yet. Well, it's definitely a bit rude. Memories of past disasters inspire me to choose somewhat cautiously. It's good, but fortunately my fears prove unfounded. The familiar taste of the traditional Japanese style fried egg spreads pleasantly throughout my mouth.
そう、よかった。
Visibly relaxing, Yumiko's breath is a sign of relief. From the look of things, I'm willing to bet she is practicing pretty intensely with Amane to make this meal
さ
possible.
あ、他のもどんどん食べて。卵焼きが大丈夫なら、ちゃんとできてるはずだから。
Sure, I will do that. Leaning forward slightly, I take a closer look at the lunchbox Yumiko made us. I can see why she's so confident. The little tray are packed fully of surprisingly high-quality side dishes. In particular, there's quite a few Kansai-style boiled or banzai dishes. You can definitely see her mastering influence at work. Yeah, this really is impressive. You're definitely getting Yumiko. And that's a real piece of me, right? And I happen to glance over Yumiko. She's facing my way, but I definitely don't have her attention. It looks like she's staring far off into the distance. Hello, Yumiko.
ユージ、どうしたの？
Finally realizing that I'm speaking, Yumiko hurriedly shakes her head and smiles. That's my line. What's the matter with you all of a sudden?
なんでもない。
Really? After meeting my gaze for more, Yumiko lets out a little sigh.
なんか二人きりでいると落ち着かなくなる時があるの。
Restless? Am I making you nervous somehow?
そんなことは全然ないの。なんというか、ユージといてすごく楽しいし、嬉しいんだけど、二人きりでいるのが時々不自然に思えるような気がしちゃって。なんか変ね、私。気にしないで。一過性のものだと思うわ。
Smiling half-heartedly, she tries to downplay her deep feelings, since I was right on the money. Little by little, Yumiko's friends are finding their way deeper into her heart. She may not realize it herself just yet, but on an emotional level, the change seems to be well underway. It shouldn't be too long before the truth dawns on her. Yeah, I think you'll be getting past that soon enough. As I pat her on the head, Yumiko looks at me with bewilderment in her eyes. After all the time she spent rejecting any kind of contact with others, she finally tried to find her way back into a social circle of sorts. That's no less worthy of celebration than the victory which brought peace to our lives.
一日中歩き回ってしまったわね。
Yeah, we've been wandering around ever since this morning. Don't think there's many places we haven't seen by now. I believe some shit will going to happen here. Hopefully, no. Even after our lunch, we end up spending nearly a half a day sightseeing around the area. Among other things, we visit historic ruins at the top of a nearby hill and stop by a viewing platform from which Mount Fuji visible. It might have been boring without each other's company, but Yumiko seems to enjoy the experience.
それで、これからどうするの？
Well, I have made reservations at the inn, of course. My answer is delivered casually enough, but for some reason it prompts my girlfriend to avert her eyes bashfully. Sorry, why are you getting all shy about that?
だって、
Her voice barely above a whisper. Yumiko hesitantly continues.
当たり前だけど、一緒に泊まるのよね、ユージと。
Oh yeah, I forgot. Nothing bad going to happen. The bad thing happened is they're going to have sex. This girl, I swear, it hasn't been that long since she threw herself at me in a bloody circle, so now she's going all pure and innocent. Is she deliberately messing with me? Is there something wrong with her memory? How many times have I fallen for that look she got on her face right now? Yumiko.
何？
Pulling Yumiko down my arms, I bring my mouth to her ears. She needs to hear every word of this. Tonight, I'll show you a whole new world, a whole new world. Okay, enough of that.
ユージ
You don't fight fair, woman. No matter how much experience you get, you always act like it's your first time. I never seem to get the upper hand. But this time, I'm going to make damn sure you can't forget about me. That's all I wanted to say. Let's get going, shall we? From all appearance, Yumiko has been struck by a sudden fever. Her eyes are glassy and unfocused. I am having to practically carry her up to the hill of our inn. Yes, let me see the hot spring. The place we are staying at tonight is situated at a nice location, and the view from our room is spectacular. Dinner was fairly simple, nothing too extravagant, but well worth the money I spent on it. Of course, even if I hadn't lived out the expectation I about Yumiko, I doubt Yumiko will carry much in her current state. Apparently, my little declaration earlier has something of an effect. Her hair's been up in the clouds all evening, and there's a constant flush on her cheeks. Want to get in the bath, Yumiko? Without slightest resistance, she begins removing her yukata. One of the main selling points to this inn is the family-sized bath that comes with every room. The privacy that offers was part of the reason I chose this place. When looking at Yumiko's color condition, I'm doubly thankful for their system. When a girl's in the heat like this, I wouldn't want to leave her alone anyway, not even a bath. Maybe I went a little overboard earlier. Yuji, later you don't remind of Asako, okay? Yeah. When I see her like this, she looks like Asako. I don't see any titties here. Yeah, a beautiful Yumiko-chan.
もうどうしてあんなこと言ったのよ
Something belatedly, she murmurs a complaint about my comment.
あの言葉のおかげで全然お料理も景色も上の空だったわ
Seems that way, yeah.
ずっとユージのことだけ考えちゃってた
A gentle breeze clears the steam between us. In a faint light of the outdoor bath, Yumiko's body comes into view. Yumiko, wait. The music just stopped. Is there any scene that we have an option? Of course no. I stroke her cheek. She reacts with small ticklish sound. Oh! Oh! Okay.
ユージ
Normally, Yumiko blushes and her eyes after every kisses, but this time she gazes steadily up at me.
ユージ大好き
Daisuke, are you sure? In response to this sweet little whisper, I believe there's a... Never mind, proceed. Having enjoyed a lengthy stroll in the bath, the two of us head out for a night stroll on the beach. There's a large swimming spot not far from here, but so the area immediately next to our inn is surprisingly quiet. At a glance, there doesn't seem to be anyone else out on the stand.
まだ早い時間なのに誰もいないのね
Yeah, the night's still young. We never getting old. Oh, never mind. Well, the shop hall seems to close up pretty early out here. Without any entertainment, there is not much reason to go out. The night sky clears except for the pale crescent moon and a few thin wisps of cloud. Apart from the boisterous chorus of cheaper insects, the world seems to have fallen completely silent.
でも星が綺麗
The stars, huh? Following Yumiko's example, I crane my neck back a little. The black expanse above us is full countless of twinkling lights. The air is clean and out in Mishiyama Gate, but the stars in Nishizu feel so close that I attempt to reach up and touch them. Yeah, they're beautiful, alright.
でしょ
As Yumiko smiles gently, I move to her side and we proceed to stroke slowly along the beach bench. There's something distinctly calm and mature about the look on her face, makes for contrast with the way she behaved this afternoon. A few hours ago, she was grinding in childish delight as we walked in arm. A little she was every stub, her face full of steam buns, and not too long after that, her eyes were sparkling as we looked around at that odd souvenir shop. Practically every hour, I got to see a total new expression. I guess little discoveries like that are one of the special privileges that comes with being a boyfriend. After After a while, I realized Yumiko smiled to herself as we walk. Seeing that, I find myself hoping that she thinks used as sappy as I am. Yes, I'm starting to get used to this boyfriend deal.
ねえユージ、
Yeah?
私はまだ何もできない未熟者よ。
Yumiko?
掃除は下手だし、料理だって失敗するし、はしゃぎすぎてユージに迷惑をかけてしまうことだってある。それが今の私。でも、だからこそもっと頑張りたいって、今日改めてそう思ったの。
I see. In the face of Yumiko's honest confession, I offer only the simplest of responses.
私、ユージと一緒にここへ来れて、本当によかった。
I feel exactly the same way. Following my example, Yumiko replies only briefly. We don't need to say anything more to convey our feelings. There's something very satisfying about that.
それに、今日はとても楽しかった。私のお願いを聞いてくれて、嬉しかった。今日のために色々と準備してくれて。だから、ありがとう、ユージ。
Right now, Yumiko can express her gratitude simply and naturally. That might not sound like much, but it's clear proof of how much she has changed. She changed. But I'm glad you enjoy yourself. Nobody wants to apologize. Try gratitude instead. I spoke those words to Yumiko on the airplane what feels like a lifetime ago, and now she's living by them. More than anything else, that makes me happy. Yumiko now told me to herself. Despite my best efforts, I can't suppress a mildly wicked smirk. Let's say it's a little early to be thanking me.
どうして？
Ignoring Yumiko's question, I glanced down at my wristwatch. It's about time. Look up the sky, Yumiko.
空？
Cranching her neck, craning her neck back, Yumiko stares outward. Apart from the moon and the twinkling stars, the sky above us is dark and empty. But suddenly, with a mighty boom, it filled with the light. Fireworks! Fireworks! Red, blue, yellow, bursts of brilliant colors spread across the black canvas of the sky that scatter fade and fade. One after another, the sun explosions fills the air. More and more lights rise up and bloom in the dark. Their colors blending together. We are now far from a place where they have been launched. The quantity of fireworks is relatively modest. Their sheer size and power is almost overwhelming. In the light of the fireworks, Yumiko's white skin fascinating shades of red and blue. Captivated by the constant barrage of light and the sound, she stared fixedly at the spectacle unfolding before us. Ever since she was very young, Yumiko knew of seeing a fireworks shows up close. Her face is filled with the innocent wonder of a child seeing magic performed for the very first time.
これが上がるのを知ってて？
Yep.
嬉しい。覚えててくれたのね、あの時の話。
Of course, not long ago, Yumiko told me about the problem she carried with her child since her childhood. Nowadays is a bit lately, the smile on her face speaks of both loneliness and relief. Is she thinking of the isolated way she used to be, or she's savoring the happiness she found in the present? Yumiko could shape her soul, but whatever the case may be, I think she put another piece of emotional baggage behind her for good.
今日花火大会があるなんて知らなかったわ。
Of course not. This is a private show for us after all.
それってどういうこと？
I pay for this. I mean exactly what I said. We made the necessary preparations, and we set out these fireworks. Simple as that.
それだけのことって一体どうしたの？打ち上げ花火ってすごくお金がかかるのでしょ？
I do anything for my love. Yeah, of course. Despite my casual response, Yumiko watches the color burst across the sky with an expression of growing dismay.
さすがにこれはお金を使いすぎじゃないのかしら。
If the cash was coming out of my wallet, I'd be inclined to agree with you. Remember what Chizuru said about the school's leftover money?
ええ、みんなで使い方を考えるようにって。
Halfway through the sentence, Yumiko's eyes go wide with
ま
shock.
さか。
That's right. We all agreed to spend it on this firework display for you.
だってみんなのお金になるはずなのに。
And everyone decided that this was the best possible use for it.
みんなが。
Yumiko looks down with guilt in her eyes, meaning they know our date.
そんなの私にはもったいないわ。だってそうでしょ。学園に戻ってくることができたのもみんなのおかげだし、私個人のために講師までやってくれているのに、ちょっとからかわれたぐらいで腹を立てたりして。なのにあの子たちに私はまだ何も返せていないわ。
You did something to them. You gave them place.
だから こんなにしてもらって申し訳な。
No apologize, Yumiko. Just as Yumiko about to fall on one of her bad habits, I gently intercede. If you got energy to spend on feeling guilty, then use it to show your gratitude.
感謝で。
After one more thought, Yumiko nods emphatically.
そうね。みんなに感謝しなきゃね。
Yes, you have to thank them. One after the other, the colorful fireworks light out the night sky. For a while, we simply watched the entrance silent.
こんなに綺麗な花火ならみんなで見たかったわ。
Well, actually, they are here, but they are different in. Still standing out at the sky, Yumiko murmurs a few heartfelt words. What? Don't I be alone with me?
不満とかじゃないの。むしろ幸せよ。そこだけが私の求めていた終着点じゃなかったのは確かだわ。あまねに料理を習ったり、メイド服を着て中庭を掃除したり、なんていうか大声を出してバタバタと走り回って賑やかに過ごす時間、二人きりの時間が欲しかったのも確かだけど、本当は私みんなと一緒にいる時間が何よりも大切に感じてたのね。
As the words day somehow, she offers me a brighter smile of the day. Now that she saw all that, I suppose there's no longer any reason to hide the truth. Well, everyone, you heard the lady. Once I get to see the number of familiar faces emerge from the thickets behind her. Do you guys match?
もう、お兄ちゃん、ネタバレすんのちょっと早くねえか？
You think? Felt like the perfect moment to me.
いいえ、ここはもっと榊さんの感情を高ぶらせて泣きに入るところまで持っていかないと効果が薄いかと思います。
My bad.
みんなずっとさっきからここにいたの？
そうよ。せっかくの花火なんだから一緒に見なきゃって。ユージのせいでタイミング悪かったけど、本当はもうちょっと後からの登場予定だったんだけど、ユージが早く漏らしすぎと書いて早漏ね。
Look, people. Even putting aside my vulgar attitude, I don't think I really deserve this level of criticism. Guess I'm right off it as a bit of jealousy over us coming out here alone.
というわけ。ごめんね、ユミコ。黙ってついてきちゃったけど、怒った？
Rather than answer the Yamane, Yumiko hangs her head in silence.
あれれ？ユミちゃん、これマジ怒りじゃね？
ちょっと私悪くないからね。最初に言い出したのは私だからね。いや、そうじゃなくて。みちる様、気をお静めになってください。ユミコ、ごめん。本当に怒ってる？
Just our classmate started to panic, Yumiko suddenly looks out at them.
ありがとう、みんな。
And with a truly vibrant smile on her face, she expressed her gratitude.
ごめんなさい。あれ？
Are they?
ありゃ？怒ってなかったの？
Makina, don't spark the fire, please.
どうして？怒るようなことなんか何もないと思うけど。
いや、でも二人きりでいるとこ邪魔しちゃったし、悪いかなって。
Yumiko shakes her head slowly.
確かにユージと二人きりでいたいって思った時もあったし、最初叶った時は嬉しかった。けどそれは普通の生活が恵まれていたからこそ出てきた私のわがままだって気づいたのよ。
Little by little, Yumiko's come out to understand the nature of her situation, and now she's finally able to express it in her own words.
だからありがとう。私はもうずっと前から幸せになってたのね。あなたたちのおかげで。ね。
Oh, so cute. The four of them lining out like that. Continue. For a long moment, everyone stares at Yumiko in shock. But just as the silence is beginning to grow slightly uncomfortable,
もう息苦しいわね。
a such a bold, dull blonde death predictably feels the need to explode.
松島さん？
As concern spread across Yumiko's face, Michiru jabs her finger emphatically in her direction.
あのね、ユミコ。そういう破壊力抜群のデレは、もっともったいつけてから言いなさいよね。いきなり言われたから死んじゃうかと思ったわよ。
ユミコのありがとうの力を改めて思い知ったわね。ちょっと気を失うかと思いました。
くっそ、デレ属性強えな。妹キャラとか速攻吹き飛ばされんじゃん。
Faced with an unexpected chorus of acclaim, Yumiko's left quite obviously perplexed.
悪いことじゃないのよね。
そうよ。スーパーいいことつうか恵まれすぎなんだから、あんたはもっともっと感謝しなさいよね。
はい。
私たちだってあんたに救われる時もたくさんあるんだからね。
松島さん？
なんでもないって。
Apparently looking overjoyed as she found Mama, Michiru walks over and pushes Yumiko in my direction.
さあ、二人ともどうせ写真とか撮ってないでしょ。せっかくだから撮ってあげるわよ。ほら、並んで並んで。
Wow, what a good idea, Michiru. For the first time, you've been very useful. Come to think of it, we didn't take a single photo, did we?
言われてみれば。
Michiru's not usually so open about her thoughtfulness. Some about this bothers me slightly, but I'm still grateful. Then again, when my instincts start nagging me like this, they often end up proving accurate in the long run.
マキナ、携帯貸して。これのカメラが一番性能良かったでしょ。
No wait about this for Michiru snatched the phone question out of Makina-san.
いいけどチルチル、それまだモードの切り替えが済んでないのよさ。
はいはい、並んで並んで。
The moment Michiru speaks these words, I realize the vague uneasiness inside me is rapidly transforming into a clear premonition of impending disaster. Wait, what? Makina's cell phone isn't just capable of taking photos. Right, it got another function, the one she used to capture Yumiko's foolishness. The memory and earnest welcome home usually pure echoes through my mind in that very same instance.
ユーシ大好き。
Oh!
え？
Her face frozen as my ego stopped from moving entirely. Makina, you record that! And also, we have a stupid blonde there called Michiru-chan who just played a recording. For a moment, no one's quite sure what happened.
再生押しちゃった。
Michiru just ruined the freaking moment, I tell you. Makina rejected just one way I wanted to raise the bar. Michiru face stable with it, Sachi goes completely expressionless. Given these reactions and the sound that just emerged from that phone, there's only one possible explanation. Please don't tell me. Taking a step forward, I even sign then ask obvious question. Were you people spying on us?
いや、何言ってんすか、ユージさん。そんな人の道に外れたことするわけないじゃないですか。ねえ、マキナさん。
チルチル、もう諦めた方がいいと思うのよさ。
いや、諦めたとかマジわけわかんないし。っていうか、口裏合わせなさいよ。あんたがそんなんじゃ。って、何？ユミコの方を見ろって？
Feel the fire, just feel the fire. Oh yeah, feel the fire, just feel the fire.
手遅れですね。これは。
Judging for the obvious tension in her shoulders, Yumiko's reaching the same conclusion as me. She visibly sting with rage.
ユミコ、落ち着いて。
Ignoring Michiru's probably Yumiko slowly reaching into her breast pocket.
さっきコンビニでとても懐かしいものに出会ったの。
As those words leaves her mouth, she swayed menacing forwardly. With her box cutter,
文房具なんだけどね。二度と使うまいと思ってたんだけど、つい買っちゃって。バカね、私。
The voice at first oddly soft and calm slowly grows more and more intense. And finally she pulls her hand out of her pocket, along with her old friend.
でも。今はそのバカな私を褒めてやりたい気分でいっぱいだわ。待ちなさい。その存在ごと切り刻んで消してあげるわ。
Wow. Is this the ending?
ちょっとユミコ、もうそういう過去の自分とはさよならしたんじゃなかったの？
そうね。あなたたちと一緒にさよならするわ。
ユミちゃんが怒った。マジで怒ったのよさ。
これはもう皆さん多少の傷は覚悟しなきゃいけないかもですね。それは勘弁して。
So much for the nice sentimental mood we had going there. It's turned into something of a slapstick facade instead. Guess the simple happy ending was too much to expect from these people. Guess the simple and happy ending was too much to expect from these people. Our classmates flee in all directions, shrieking at the top of their lungs. Yumiko pursues them like a vengeful god.
待ちなさい。ミチル、マキナ、サチ、あとアナね。
And why are they all involved?
ユミコごめんつい下心で。ミチル様、それを言うなら出来心です。念のため。どうでもいいけど誰かちゃんと土下座して謝りなさいよ。
もうちょい逃げて時間稼がないとユミちゃんの血の気が収まんない
時間が解決すると思うんじゃないわ。未来まで追いかける。
Given all the violent threats she currently making, I suppose because she retraced her sweet comments from earlier. Still, nice to see they got closer, at least. Even she chases our classmates around, Yumiko's calling them all by their first names. When things calm down a little, I will have to point it out. Should be a good way to help them make up. Watching my girlfriend and her classmates make a public nuisance of themselves, I quietly pray that we got many more days like this one in store. A good game
グリ